All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's live stream where I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin from a high time frame perspective, and I'm going to use a very simple technical tool in combination with some quite simple on-chain charts. And with that, I will show you guys what my plans are for Bitcoin going forward. If we do enter a major long-term bear market here, uh, how do we find the bottom, and how do we try to predict the bottom using simple TA in combination with on-chain metrics. So I will show you something here that I think will be insanely beneficial for most of you, because I do think that the best way of trading Bitcoin is swing trading, the higher time frames, and long-term investing to really make the most out of the huge Bitcoin moves. So definitely make sure to take notes, use the tools that I'm showing you, and yeah, let's go. All right, welcome. All right, so today's super awesome, insanely interesting live stream is sponsored by Prime XPT, which is the exchange where I'm trading the Forex and the crypto markets on. I love the fact that they've added a lot of new altcoins as well. You can use the link in the description below and use the not use the burb. You can use the burb, but you should use the code, which is burbnest, right? And you can get up to 7,500 USD. Was it? Yeah, I think 7,500 USD deposit bonus. You have to actually register using the link, and then go in and actually use the code when you're in on the site. Add that code. It's not going to happen automatically, right? Which is great. 7.5k USD deposit bonus, which it means you're actually getting quite a good chunk of free margin. All right. So, what am I talking about? What did I talk about in the beginning? By the way, guys, if you have any questions on anything I'm going to talk about today, please use the chat. So you have a great opportunity here to ask me questions live directly, and I always try to help you guys out as much as possible. I'm gonna try to keep it a bit short today, but if you want my help, now's the time to ask whatever questions you have. And if you want to get the most out of the most out of my help, and the most out of your questions, try to keep it centered around what you've learned from my trading and the way I approach the markets and the indicators that I'm using, because I would say that I'm an expert at my trading system, right? So that's where you're gonna get the most out of that. Audio is a bit choppy. Is everyone getting the same, that the audio is choppy? I'll have to, if that's the case, I'll see if I can do anything about that. I will restart my whatever it's called. Just give me my audio engine. So just give me 1 second. I'll restart it. All right. Hopefully it works better now. Let me know how it goes. All right. Perfect. Right. So what I'm interested in showing you guys today is something I've been watching a lot in the bull market, right? And in the bull market, it predicted. So probably bad connection. Anyway, so I did use this in the bull market to try to predict the top, and it actually worked out beautifully here, right? It really predicted this top very nicely, right? Very nicely, right? But this move here kind of made me think that this whole idea and this whole analysis is invalidated. Then in our TA meeting within the Birdnest, so I'm the leader of a trading team in the Birdnest, and every Monday we have a meeting where we discuss the market and make plans and stuff like that. And I show the guys in the team this what I'm going to show you guys today. And I had some questions on this right here. And then Julian, our fundamental analyst, talked about how, and this is something I'm really bad at, but he talked about the derivatives markets and the open interest, how the open interest, how this move right here was mostly fueled by, leverage traders and not spot traders, right? So that if you take so one advice when you're watching what I'm going to show you, the analysis I'm going to show you, one advice would be to try to implement the open interest and the how the future markets is moving the markets, right? So try to implement that into what I'm going to show you now, and I think it's going to be even more obvious and more able to predict the tops and bottom on Bitcoin. So this is based on 2 on-chain metrics. I'm not going to go into the open interest. That's up to you guys to figure that out and learn open interest and how that works and how it affects the markets. Do that, right? But I'm going to be talking about 2 on-chain metrics, which is the MVRVC score, which is available on lookintobitcoin.com/charts and MVRVC score. I'm going to link this in the comments right away. And then I'm also going to look at the net unrealized profit and loss, which is NUPL. And I'm using Glassnode, and I'm logged in on, if you guys remember Aperture, I'm in on Aperture account. I've stolen his login. I'm not sure he knows that, and we're not going to tell him either. So this is, you have to pay to access. I'm not sure you have to pay to access this one. This is available, I'm pretty sure, for free on other sites. Just Google Bitcoin NUPL. But this site on Glassnode is quite good. Looks pretty good, right? It's pretty goddamn expensive, Anyway. So the idea here is we're going to use the MVRVC score in combination with the NUPL. We're also going to use the daily 50 EMA and the weekly OR. And I say OR because you have to look at both and try to make up your mind actually on which gives you the best confidence, because I'm not really sure about that part. I do, however, see a good correlation with the 2-week stochastics RSI. While in the beginning, I looked at the weekly stochastics RSI, but I figured out that the 2-week stochastics RSI had much better hit rate with using the on-chain metrics, because the on-chain metrics are on using higher timeframes data, and the 2-week stochastics just makes more sense to use. All right, so let me show you the overall idea. Let's start with the MVRVC score, and it's very simple. I'm always a believer on keeping it simple. I don't care why it works. I only care if it works. I don't care why it works. I only care if it works. So I don't care how the stochastics work. I only care if it works. I've back tested over hundreds of trades, and in my system, the stochastics works great in the way I want it to work. But how it works, I don't care about that. I don't care. Do I need to know how it works? Obviously not, right? MVRVC score has two areas of interest, right? It is the red area right here and the green area right here. Historically, and this is the history of Bitcoin right here. Historically, when Bitcoin enters the red area right here, it usually indicates that it's getting close to a high time frame top, right? So you can see right here in the background, you have the Bitcoin price action, right? That's the Bitcoin on the log scale, obviously, and it's a history of Bitcoin. You will see that you have MVRC score hitting the red area right here, high time frame top, red area, high time frame top. I do believe that this is the 2017 top right here. Hits the red area, start of the bear market. Hits the red area, start of the bear market, question mark, right? But what we see here is that on this latest top right here, not the 61 top, like I explained before, because of the open interest, right? And the derivatives market, this top right here, when that happened, the MVRVC score has just entered the red area, right? And we also look at the NUPL. So that's basically all you need to know. When the MVRVC score enters the red area, that should alert you and say, all right, wait a minute. We're now in the danger zone of creating a high time frame top. It might not happen the first day or the first week. It might even have not even happen in the first month, right? But you just know that we're now in a danger zone, and we could, of course, I mean, Bitcoin entered here and we had like a huge move after that, entering that zone. But just know that when the MVRVC score is trading here, historically there's a very, very little risk that we're going to hit a macro top. But as soon as it enters this area, your alert should be firing off and telling you that we're getting close to a macro top, right? Now let's look at the NUPL score right here, and this is measured using different colors for, as you can see down here, capitulation, hope, optimism, belief, euphoria, or fear, anxiety, denial, and greed. You know, the basic emotions in investing, I guess, in life. Anyway, what we're looking for here is at the top, we want to see the NUPL get into the blue zone, or at least very close to the blue zone, right? Should be in denial, or at least on the edge of denial and greed. And you can see right here, this right here, this is the top where the MVRVC score entered the red area. So the MVRC score enters the red area right here, while the NUPL very, very close to getting into the greed area. So when this happens right here, when the NUPL moves up here and the MVRC score moves up in this area, you know that, all right, we're now close. We're now in the area where we're most likely going to see a high time frame top, right? A high time frame top. And that is when you move into the charts. That is when you're going to use technical tools to be able to determine when is it time to exit. When do we exit? By the way, guys, if you like this, because I usually don't do this, right? This is just something I do for my private students, really go into depth on the, how I use on-chain and that kind of stuff, because I do really believe that this is one of my truly unique edge in trading Bitcoin. But today I'm kind of giving it to you guys completely free, because I really do want to help you guys. I really do appreciate all, I've been getting so many positive comments and feedback on my videos, and I've seen that what I do is actually helping people. And I really do love, like, my mission in life is to help as many people as possible to learn how to trade. And if this can help you to time the next bottom, that would be fantastic for me, right? So if you like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, because there's going to come more like this, right? Anyway, so now we know that the on-chain metrics are telling us that, all right, we're close to the top. And of course, I'm talking about the top, but you would see that the same thing is in reverse, obviously. And after checking the top scenario, we're going to look at the bottom scenario and how we can use this right now. So we now go into the charts, and like I said, there's two things we want to monitor here. It's either the 1 week stochastic RSI or the 2 week stochastic RSI. Today I'm going to go with the so I'm gonna look at the 2 week chart right here. So this is the 2 week chart right here. So we have the when the 2 week stochastics is in the oversold or overbought territory, while the MVRC score and the Bitcoin unrealized profit and loss is up here, like I've described. You know that this is the confluence that you need, right? If the on-chain metrics are telling you that you're getting close to a top, while stochastics RSI in the 2 week is trading down here, obviously it's not an interesting area to exit the market, right? But when the stochastics RSI is trading up here, and especially like you saw, like you saw in this area right here, when you had that top right here, you also saw the stochastics kind of topping out right here and giving you a bearish cross well in the overbought territory and starting to slope down, right? And that's the third confirmation you're looking for. So you have 4 confirmations you're looking for. The MVRC score is 1, the NUPL is the second, the 2-week stochastics is the third, and then the final and fourth one is the daily 50 EMA. So we now know that we have confirmed the stochastics and the on-chain metrics. We now go into the daily, and we're going to add the daily 50 EMA, right? And the idea here is that this will be our final exit signal. And basically the signal is you get out of the market when Bitcoin open and closes a daily candle below the daily 50 EMA. So right here, okay, right here you have the uptrend, and right here you have Bitcoin opening and closing a daily candle below the 50 EMA on the daily. So let's say you exit right here. That would be your exit, right? That would be your exit. Now, if we imagine that you entered using a similar method like I did. So my general idea when trading Bitcoin is always be exposed to the long side when Bitcoin is above the daily 50 EMA, and always be exposed to the downside when Bitcoin is below the daily 50 EMA. And that goes for all coins as well. So if Bitcoin is above the daily 50 EMA, I want to be long Bitcoin, and I want to look for longs on all coins. And when Bitcoin is below the daily 50 EMA, I want to look for shorts on Bitcoin, or sell Bitcoin spot and look for shorts on all coins, right? So if you use that tactic, you would have entered Bitcoin around this area and exited Bitcoin around this area. And you can see that, yes, there's definitely some room for error right here on this choppiness, but overall, you would have had made an insanely good trade right here. Now, I do believe that this is a great way of trying to time, not like time the bottom on Bitcoin and time the tops on Bitcoin, with then using a very simple technical approach using the 2-week stochastics and the daily 50 EMA as confirmation. So how would you use this looking for a bottom? And here I'm also going to be looking at the reload zone, obviously, like I always do. Here you have the, we're going to go back to the NUPL, and you see that what we want to see here is capitulation, right? All the major bottoms on Bitcoin has happened when the NUPL enters the capitulation phase right here. And it makes sense. It makes really sense. And by the way, one note is that most people, and this is what I believe when I started trading as well, most people believe that when for Bitcoin to enter that capitulation phase, you need people, like you need the retail traders to capitulate, right? You need panic in the markets, and you need all the retail traders who bought around 60 or bought around the top. You need them to like panic and get out of the market. That's true in a sense, but the true capitulation comes when the true long-term hodlers and the die-hard Bitcoin fans that's been holding for a very long time, when they sell and when they exit, when they believe it's over, that's when you get capitulation. Like the COVID crash, for example. Look at the COVID crash. Now this is capitulation. That is a 58% move to the downside, and from the top, it's a over 60% drop in only 1 month, right? That's insane, right? So the COVID crash, great example of a capitulation move, because what happened then, and this is also when you can go in and look at the on-chain metrics of dormancy and when long-term holders kind of wake up and start selling. So when people, long-term holders and the die-hard Bitcoin fans, when they exit the market, and they don't really have to exit at a loss, right? But when they exit, you're going to get capitulation, right? And the good thing about that is the people that exit might still be in profit, and they're going to have the firepower and the capital to buy back lower, and that is key, I believe. So let's go back to NUPL here. Let's talk about capitulation. Right now, Not sure what I did here. So what happens right here? We are currently trading in hope, fear, right? And the next stage is capitulation down here. So the next stage is capitulation, right? So when the NUPL enters the capitulation phase, while the MVRVC score enters the green area down here, it is signaling to us that we are now getting close to a high time frame cycle bottom, just like the red area and the green area is telling us that we're getting close to a top, right? So the NUPL enters capitulation while the MBRVC score enters this green area. That tells us that we're now getting close to a high time frame bottom. So what do you do with the charts? Well, obviously you're going to be looking at the 2-week stochastics RSI. So let's look at the 2-week stochastics RSI. The 2-week stochastics RSI needs to be below 30, right? Below 30, and preferably you would want to see a bull cross as well. So something like this. If you look at this area right here, that's what I'm looking at. So a nice rounded bottom on the stochastics RSI while Bitcoin reclaims the daily 50 EMA. So let's go back to the daily chart and we'll see the daily 50 EMA right here. So with this logic, we are nowhere close to, well, pretty close to the bottom, but looking in price action, we could easily down quite further. And that's when looking for supports lower comes in. So we're gonna add the my favorite tool, the Fibonacci retracement tool, and we're gonna look for the reload zone of that Fibonacci tool. And I'm actually gonna add the Fibonacci tool here from the absolute bottom, which is 0, to the absolute top, which is 69 of Bitcoin. And what we get is something I believe is just amazing, like fantastic, because it just aligns so perfectly with what I've been talking about, right? So let's add this here. Okay, so we have the first one at 0. The absolute bottom for Bitcoin is 0. And 69,000, which is the top. You can look at that candle right here. The very, very top on the BTC USD chart on Bitstamp is exactly 69K. Exactly 69K. And what happens, right? What happens is you get the reload zone in quite an obvious area. The midpoint of the reload zone, where is the midpoint of the reload zone? 20,000. And usually when you do get a bottom formation inside the reload zone, it's going to be around the midpoint of the reload zone. That's where you get the best type of entries. Now, so you're watching this and you might ask yourself, right, so LiBZ think we're going to 20. I'm not saying we're going to 20. I'm saying that if all of these metrics align while Bitcoin enters the reload zone, while the stochastics RSI in the 2-week is giving you a bottom pattern and a bull cross, while Bitcoin reclaims the daily 50 EMA, I do believe that would be the best possible and the best safest way of entering Bitcoin for the next cycle. All right. That's it for today's webinar. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short, and I did, under 30 minutes. That's my plans. Now, I can show you more in detail how this might look, right? Bitcoin trades lower, starts ranging like this, and the more it ranges here, the lower the daily 50 EMA is going to go, right? So what we're watching is, some type of bottom pattern, some type of bullish break in market structure here, reclaims the 50 stochastics RSI is giving us a cross, NUPL is in capitulation move mode, the MBRC score is in the green area, and you're getting this. I mean, come on, it's just, it doesn't get better than that. So that is my best possible and best, like the most obvious signal for me to start buying a lot of Bitcoin. Now, if you don't want to wait for that, right? If you don't want to wait for that, you can only look at the fact that we're getting close to capitulation on the NUPL, and we are getting close to the bottom on MBRC score, and we've already hit the 0.618, and we're actually getting quite close to the my perfect area, which is the reload zone. So it would make perfect sense to start a dollar cost average strategy, and this is probably the best way to trade this strategy for most of you, because you don't have to think. Basically, you just have to start dollar cost averaging down into this area, right? Put orders or just wait for these alerts to get hit. And if price goes down here, yes, you will not get filled on these ones, but you can take these orders and add it up here when you have a confirmed bottom. And by having orders in this whole area right here, you will make sure to have an average entry that is a quite good entry for Bitcoin long term. All right, guys, that's it for me today. If you do have any questions on anything I've talked about today, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. You can, I'm always open to discuss these ideas in DM. So on Discord, just DM me, or on Twitter, just DM me if you want more personal help with stuff like this. All right, guys, if you like this video, hit the like button, and yeah, take care. See you guys in the next one. Bye.